So actually in today's class we are going to discuss about or learn about archaebacteria. Learn about archaebacteria. Okay, what are these archaebacteria? So actually the biologists they organized the living things, the total living world, the biological world into 6 categories. They call them each and every category as a kingdom. Previously, biological world it is divided into 2 major groups. When the science is not at all that much of advanced stage, it is categorized into 2 kingdoms, that is plant kingdom and animal kingdom. Plant kingdom and animal kingdom. And thereafter, after the flourishment of the science, they divided, that is according to modern classification or the division, they are the total world along with the microbes and the living world, that is the plants and animals and mother microbes are grouped into 6 kingdoms, that is called archaebacteria, eubacteria, protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia. Archaebacteria, eubacteria, protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia. And animalia. And these, see here you can observe, see, according to them, so first formed one is the bacteria, and among which how they are classified, they are the eubacteria and this is the archaebacteria. From these, the protistans were evolved, which are eukaryotic, unicellular, and multicellular organisms. And these protists they gave birth to, and according to scientists, the remaining plantae, animalia, fungi, they are evolved from protists only. So protists they gave rise to fungi with multicellular eukaryotic structure, animalia multicellular eukaryotic, plantae multicellular eukaryotic. See, fungi are multicellular eukaryotic, saprophytic, and parasitic and symbiotic. Animalia multicellular eukaryotic parasitic only. Is and plantae multicellular eukaryotic autotrophs. Multicellular eukaryotic. See, some of the recent findings in this microbial world. In 1996, scientists decided to split Monera into 2 groups of bacteria. So actually, the archaebacteria also included under bacteria and actinomycetes under fungi. The archaebacteria and eubacteria. So the division takes place during 1996, and that is archaebacteria and eubacteria. That means Monera contains both. According to Whitaker's classification, Monera contains both archaebacteria and eubacteria. But after that, in 1996, they were divided into archaebacteria and eubacteria. Because these 2 groups of bacteria were different in many, and scientists created a new level of classification called domain, called a domains. Now we have 3 domains. Now we have 3 domains. They are bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. Bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. So now kingdom archaebacteria. Kingdom archaebacteria. Any of a large group of primitive bacteria having unusual cell walls, membrane lipids, ribosome, and RNA sequences, and having the ability to produce methane and to live in anaerobic, extremely hot, salty, or acidic conditions. That means the large group of primitive bacteria have an unusual characteristic features which can give extreme extreme conditions, climatic conditions. They may be or acidic, and they are known to be archaebacteria. And all these extreme and irregularly behaving bacteria are kept under the domain archaea. The domain archaea. The ancient bacteria, some of the first archaebacteria were discovered in Yellowstone National Park's hot springs. Yellowstone National Park's hot springs. And they are the prokaryotes. They are the prokaryotes and are structurally simple but biochemically complex. These are structurally simple and biochemically they are very complex. Structurally they are very simple. Okay. First they were discovered at Yellowstone National Park's hot springs. The basic facts of archaebacteria. Normally these archaebacteria, they live in extreme environments like hot springs or salty lakes, and normal environments like soil and ocean water. Soil and ocean water. That means the archaebacteria can found they are living in normal climatic conditions also and in extreme conditions also. All the archaebacteria are unicellular. Each individual only is only one cell. The total body contains only one cell. That means they are unicellular. Bacteria are unicellular and no peptidoglycan in their cell wall. In normal conditions in eubacteria, we find thus if we found that the cell wall of the bacteria is made up of murin, or is also called mucopeptides, or it is known to be peptidoglycan. Is a polysaccharide peptidoglycan. But here the cell wall of the archaebacteria, does not bear peptidoglycan. That means peptidoglycan chemically, when you analyze the cell wall of the archaebacteria, peptidoglycan is absent. And some have a flagella that aids in their locomotion. In some of the archaebacterians only, you may observe the presence of the flagellum. Cases flagella, it is of the in majority of the cases the flagellum may be absent. And see, in normal bacteria, in true bacteria, some may require oxygen for their life and some may not require. But here, the archaebacteria don't need oxygen to survive. Don't need oxygen to survive means they are the anaerobes. They are condition. They can produce ATP from sunlight. They can produce ATP from sunlight. That is energy. Adenosine triphosphate. They can survive enormous temperature extremes. They can survive. They can live. They can withstand. They can withstand to any type of climatic conditions. ఎంతటి వేడి ఉన్నా ఎంతటి సెలైనిటీ ఉన్నా కూడాను అంతటి ఎక్స్ట్రీమ్ కండిషన్స్ లో కూడాను అవి అవి ఉంటాయి. దే కెన్ లివ్ హ్యూజ్ ప్రెషర్ డిఫరెన్సెస్. దే కెన్ టాలరేట్ హ్యూజ్ ప్రెషర్ డిఫరెన్సెస్. అతి వ్యత్యాసంగా ఉండేటువంటి డిఫరెన్సెస్ లో ఉండేటువంటి ప్రెజర్స్ లో కూడాను దే కెన్ లివ్. ఎంతటి ప్రెజర్ ఉన్నా కూడాను ఆ ప్రెజర్ లో కూడాను, అంటే ప్రెజర్ డిఫరెన్సెస్ లో కూడాను పీడన వ్యత్యాసాలు ఉన్నా కూడాను బ్రతకగలుగుతాయి. అండ్ వాట్ ఈస్ ది స్ట్రక్చర్? వీటి యొక్క స్ట్రక్చర్ ఏంటి? మనం కొద్దిగా దీన్ని ఇది చేస్తాం. చిన్నగా అయితే మనకు బాగా కనిపిస్తుంది కూడాను, కనిపించడం లేదు ఇది మనకు. సో ఇందులో కూడాను see in case of archaebacteria also you may notice the presence of bacillus, coccus and spirillum, and archaea are slightly less than 1 micron long. A micron is 1 by thousandth of a millimeter. 1 by thousandth of a millimeter. In order to see their cellular features, scientists use powerful electron microscopes. Powerful electron microscopes. Okay. So archaea are the slightly less than 1 micron. Slightly less than 1 micron. Okay. Shape. The shape can be spherical or ball shaped and are called coccus. Others are rod shaped, long and thin and labeled bacillus. They are called as bacillus. And variations of cells have been discovered in square and other shapes also. See here, bacillus, it is see, it is 0.5 microns bacillus for 0.5 microns, and coccus 2 micrometers, sorry, 0.5 micrometers and 2 micrometers and 3.07 micrometers, that is spirillum. That is their measurement. So then structure, the structure of archaebacterial cell. So first let us say locomotion. Some of the archaea have flagella, hair-like structures that assist in movement, and there can be one or many attached to the cell's outer membrane. Protein networks can also be found on the cell membrane, which themselves in groups. See, the cells, the archaebacteria cells, they bear one to many flagellum also on the outer surface of the cell wall. And apart from these, some of the archaebacteria cells, they bear protein network on the outer surface, which remains as a coat. And coat, it gives a gelatinous nature to the archaebacteria, and they themselves, they can attach to each other. And the cell features. Within the cell, archaea cells, they contain cytoplasm and DNA, which are in grouped forms called plasmids. The archaebacterial cell contains cytoplasm and DNA, and DNA are a single loop forms called plasmids. The most archaeal cells also have a semi-rigid cell wall. Not completely rigid, it is a rigid cell wall that helps it to maintain its shape and chemical balance. And the tumor protects the cytoplasm. It is the semi-liquid gel that fills the cell and enables the various parts. Structure. Phospholipids. The molecules that make up cell membranes are called phospholipids. They are known to be phospholipids, which act as building blocks for the cell. So that means the cell membranes are made up of phosphorus and lipids. That is called phospholipids. And in archaea, these molecules are made up of glycerol ether lipids. Ether bonding. The ether bonding makes it possible for archaea to survive in environments that are extremely acidic or alkaline, or that have great extremes in temperature. See, why these archaebacteria can survive in extreme environments, extreme habitat conditions, extreme surroundings, extreme localities. It is because due to the presence of the ether bondings, that is glycerol ether bonding, makes the archaea to survive in environments that are extremely acidic or alkaline, extremely acidic or alkaline, or that have great extreme in temperature also. In extreme temperature conditions also, they can live. That is here you are observing the see see here. This is the burning archaeal phospholipids. These are said to be archaeal phospholipids. And this is said to be ether bond and phytonol and isoprene unit. The last one is said to be isoprene unit. This is the prokaryotic cell structure. The genetic material is said to be nucleoid and the cytoplasm and the capsule are just like our normal bacterial cell structure only. It too appears like that only. And pili, ribosomes, and this is flagellum. Classification. And in the archaeobacterial classification, the 5 phylums are observed, that is Crenarchaeota and Euarchaeota, Corarchaeota and Cumarchaeota and Nanoarchaeota. So Crenarchaeota, Euryarchaeota, Corarchaeota, Tuyamarchaeota, Nanoarchaeota. And Crenarchaeota. The name Crenarchaeota means scalloped archaea. Scalloped archaea. They are often irregular in shape. The archaebacteria which are grouped under Crenarchaeota, they are irregular shapes. All Crenarchaeotes are synthesize a distinctive tetraether lipid called Crenarchaeol. See, important question for competitive exams also. Crenarchaeota are the group of archaeobacteria. They synthesize a distinctive tetraether lipid called Crenarchaeol, originally containing thermophilic and hyperthermophilic sulfur metabolizing archaea. Recently discovered Crenarchaeota are inhibited by sulfur and grow at low temperatures. These organisms stain gram-negative and are morphologically diverse, having rod, cocci, filamentous and oddly shaped cells. Oddly shaped, they may be irregular shaped cells. So examples. So one of the best characterized members of the Crenarchaeota is Sulfolobus sulfotaricus. Sulfolobus sulfotaricus is the best example for the Crenarchaeota bacteria. So this is isolated from geothermally heated sulfuric springs in Italy and grows at 80 degrees centigrade and pH of 2 to 4. Other examples are Pyrobolus fumari, and Sulfolobus soliftaricus and Sulfolobus Acidocaladaris, Acidocaladaris, Sulfolobus acidocalarius, and this is the structure of the Crenarchaeota. Structure of this Crenarchaeota. So phylum Euryarchaeota. The bacteria, the archaebacteria which comes under Euryarchaeota, they appears like this. Not that much of visible. I will show you in the. See, they appear. The Euryarchaeota, they appear like this. So very diverse with 7 classes. The Euryarchaeota, the phylum Euryarchaeota, it shows very high diversity. Nearly due to the diversity only, it is divided into 7 classes: Methanococcus, Methanobacteria, Halobacteria, Thermoplasmata, and Thermococci, and Archeglobi, and Methanopyri. And it consists of 9 orders and 15 families. The Euryarchaea, or Euryarchaeota, it is divided into 7 classes: Methanococcus, Methanobacteria, and Halobacteria, Thermoplasmata, and Thermococci, Archeglobi, Methanopyri. And it consists of 9 orders and 15 families. On the basis of habitat, they are divided into the following: so methanogens, extreme halophils, and sulfate reducers, and many extreme thermophiles with 5 dependent metabolism, S-dependent metabolism. It is S-dependent metabolism. First in halophils. Halo means salt. Phil means loving. That means we usually know the word halophilic, the thermophilic, which loves heat. Halophilic, which loves salt. Okay. So normally, organisms require static environment. So they are found in salt lakes, areas with evaporation of seawater occurs as the Great Salt Lake in United States and other great salt concentrations.
సార్ మీ వాయిస్ బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది సార్. సార్
హలో
సార్ మీ వాయిస్ రావడం లేదు సార్. వాయిస్
these can live in the salt water which exceeds salt concentrations, and examples are halobacterium, which includes several species found in salt lakes, and halobacterium salinum, halobacterium, and is the examples of so this is the structure of bacterium. You can micro maintained as a in of conditions, that is in anaerobic conditions, and are killed to maintain product in anaerobic conditions. Anaerobic to oxygen, hydrogen and CH4 in swamps and marshes, that is called marsh gas. These live. The many live at the bottom will live. Okay, and they are also గమ్ కదా అక్కడంతా కూడా so they are added to biogas reactors for production of that is for cooking and sewage treatment plants. Okay, and examples: methanol, aquamaris, ethanolicus, ethanothanus, and methanophorus laminatus. So thermophilic and sulfur reducing are key, and sulfur reducing are key. Or means it reveals structure which can live in extreme and sulfur reducing all thermophile habitat. Difference in the same category itself. Some thrive only acidic water. Thermoacidophile and acid lovers, hyperthermophile, current temperature it can grow up to it can go on. And hello, బాయ్ ఏరియా హాట్ స్ప్రింగ్స్ ఎందుకంటారు వాటిని అంటే they live in hot springs, pools of hot water that have moved toward earth's surface. లోపల నుంచి బయటికి they are flowing out. They are thermophilic in this type of extreme heat conditions also bacteria and Haemophilic, the bacteria which lives in saline water, salt, and methanogenic methane gas producers which lives in only anaerobic environments. Methanogenic archaebacteria. Coiota. Core archaeota. The name is derived from the Greek noun karos or core, meaning young man or young woman, and the Greek adjective archaeos, which means ancient. They are also known as genera or corarchaeota have only been found in high temperature hydrothermals in Yellowstone National Park. The corarchaeota are most abundant in springs with a pH range of 5.7 to 7. 5.7 to 7. The corarchaeota were originally discovered by microbial from hot spring in Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone. See, each of these 6 hot springs in Kamchatka was found to contain corarchaeota. See, all these are the 6 hot springs. 6 hot springs, they contain corarchaeota. See, this is the corarchaeota. It is taken with the help of scanning electron microscope. Scanning electron microscope. Then Thaum archaeota. The Thaum archaeota from Greek Thaumas meaning wonder are proposed in 2008 after the genome of the Crinoarchaeota symbiosum was sequenced and found to differ significantly from other members of Crinoarchaeota. All organisms of this lineage thus far identified are chemolithoautotrophic. 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 Ammonia oxidizers and ammonia oxidizers and may play important roles in biogeochemical cycles such as the nitrogen cycle and the carbon cycle. మీకు కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ లో అడుగుతారు, హైయర్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు పనికి వస్తుంది. సో కీమోలిథో ఆటోట్రాఫిక్ ammonia oxidizers and may play important roles in biogeochemical cycles such as nitrogen cycle and carbon cycle, which are Thaum archaeota. It was proposed on basis of phylogenetic data such as the sequence of these organisms, ribosomal RNA genes, and the presence of a form of type 1 topoisomers that was previously thought to be unique to the eukaryotes. Eukaryotes లో మాత్రమే ఉంటాయి అనుకున్నటువంటివి రైబోజోమల్ ఫైండింగ్స్ they are appeared in the Thaumarchiota, in other archaeota, and thereby they are named as Thaumarchiota. That means wondered. Nitrosospira vienensis, the Thaumarchiota, Nitrosospira and vienensis. Nanoarchaeota. Nanoarchaeota. In taxonomy, the nanoarchaeota from Greek meaning old dwarf. Old dwarf. They inhabit high temperature environments with an optimal growth of 90 degrees centigrade and are highly unusual because they grow and divide on the surface of another archaea. See the wonder. They grow and divide on the surface of another archaea. Ignicoccus, nanoarchaea, ignicoccus. That means they divide and grow on the surface of ignicoccus. The nanoarchaea which were discovered into 0. Replicate only when to the surface of Ignicoccus archaea. Okay, so some special features are observed here. See, ultra section of the nanoarchaeota, freeze attached. The only cultivated representative of so far nanoarchaea equitans. Importance of archaebacteria. Importance of archaebacteria here of in the pond. Thermophilic enzymes. The first benefit, exothermic archaea, resistant to either to heat or extremes of the acidity and alkalinity. Uses thermostable DNA polymerases such as the PFU-DNA polymerase from Pyrococcus furiosus or high temperatures. Metals. Gold, copper, and from their ores and methane gas decompose fermenters E-cow during into methane gas, so they can decompose, growing in biogas fermenters in cow dung into methane gas as a byproduct, which is known to be GOP. And role in chemical cycles. The archaebacteria, they play an important role in carbon cycle, nitrogen sulfur cycle. Ability to tolerate extreme conditions help researchers environment at their server in or keep useful antibiotics. So they help in the preparation of antibiotics also. Okay. So this is about the uh, archibacteria. Let us continue.